So far we have talked about this film as a socio-political document because the film depicts a real event, real incident, though which is not a rare incident, which is real and occurring again and again. But this film is film ultimately. And as a film or as cinema, it is also an art form. And as a result, it would also be important to look at it as a cinema in terms of its grammar, in terms of its cinematic language, how it conceptualizes scenes, how it constructs the characters, how it comes up with meanings, what devices the film uses as meanings. That certain keywords become the context for providing deeper meanings in the film. There are multi-layered meanings as we were discussing earlier. So as a person trained in the language of cinema and the grammar of cinema, the structure basically, it would be interesting to have a dialogue with you.
The starting scene where they are segregated caste-wise, the policeman who is asks their castes and then he segregates the lower castes to one side or the untouchables to one side. And that scene is very horrific and unbelievable
To be true.
to be true. Does this really happen? But that is the reality.
Okay.
So that puts a major impact on the audience.
That how the way the scene is construed, or the way scene is organized, in itself, the expression of bias comes in, isn't it?
Yeah, it was very impactful. It was very dramatic at the same time, and I felt that drama was required at the beginning of the film, and that's how the film set its tone.
Okay.
Based on the casteism of the policeman. So then they took them to the jail and they put false allegations on them.
Okay.
So that is really disturbing to watch. And that's one reality one must have to face and accept, that corrupt officers do exist as such.
Okay. That the way the tribals are shown, that they are only saying truth, look, we did not do anything. Whereas those in the power, they have decided to put that blame on them. So two people are speaking, but there is no communication. So though they are speaking, their voices are not heard. That's an interesting meaning which comes in that
Yeah.
scene. Yes.
That's an interesting metaphor.
Yeah. That people are speaking, but they may not be heard.
So that's how the director or the filmmaker is able to capture the audience's eye and put dramatic effect. So the next scene is where they are taken inside and they have shown a story of a scheduled tribe, husband and wife, where their livelihood as such is hunting rabbits. And that's also a very thought-provoking, I would say. Not only, I mean, brutal to watch, but really thought-provoking. And then I think the violence that also puts an impact on the viewer, and just the sheer loudness and bold,
blatant,
yeah,
yes,
beating of the scheduled tribe and scheduled the lower caste people who have been beaten, and something which they have falsely been accused of. The woman is very strong, and she has been bribed. So there they have shown something which is beyond. I mean, the woman is lower caste, but her morals are very straightforward.
And she doesn't have anything, and yet
she is able to, I mean, fight for her husband, and she is then introduced. I mean, there is an NGO worker who is able to, take her to the lawyers and take her to court to file a case against the oppressors of her husband. And so she meets this. So there is an introduction of this very young, vibrant, and very determined lawyer.
Okay.
Who is asserting, they have shown. So that is one of the point where metaphorically they have shown that he is, one should not mess with him, or he is very much socially aware.
Right. Yes.
Lawyer. And then he takes up the case, and then the story starts unraveling what actually happened, and then the woman is able to tell that not the full truth, but there are certain things which she does not tell. So I think it's a kind of a twist.
Okay.
So which later on affects the whole case.
Acha, as a storytelling.
As a storytelling, in terms of filmmaking.
Filmmaking, okay.
I think so the another scene is that where he gets really drawn into giving justice, and he tries to.
Or
himself,
in the case, he gets into the case.
He starts investigating by himself what actually really happened, because he has heard such a thing, but he has not seen from his own eyes. So he wants to actually uncover and see what has happened. Another. So that's
here I want to slightly interrupt you. It leads to the first kind of a point which we were discussing. You said kind of brutalities which are shown, which appear as if do people really experience such kind of brutalities? Because so there are two kinds of brutalities. One is the brutalities experienced by people, really, and the brutalities expressed in the film. How it has been depicted intentionally. You were saying that those extremely brutal kind of violence that these people are subjected to, that makes an impact on the audience. That's what you said. Now I want to bring to you, now it is not that we are not aware that people are not beaten this way. We have heard stories of custodial deaths, of disappearances, of so-called encounters. All these stories we have heard. We have also heard stories of social violence in the communal violence. So it is not that we are not aware that this is not true. Meaning, in back of our mind we know. And yet, why is it that we get disturbed? So those scenes, why is it that the directors or the filmmaker is creating the scene which we are already aware of, in a way? Why is it that the director has, okay, one thing is that it has actually happened. So in a way he is depicting reality. But there might be some more reason as to why he is trying to retell the story of violence, which they are already aware of. Is it because they can easily relate to the violence that they have learned in their own life? So in a way, when the audience is reliving the violence which is already there in their head, of their growing up, isn't it? So as a film craft, do we sometimes assume that the story that I am telling the people are already aware of? That people have already known this to be truth. When we show that blatantly, they can easily identify it. Okay? In terms of impact on audience, one impact what we saw, that they get disturbed. They wonder whether this really happens. But do audience also feel not only disturbed, but as if we are also responsible for this? Do they have that feeling?
To a certain extent, yes. I think to the people who are of upper caste, who are the upper caste
Or class?
class,
Okay.
so for them it will be kind of a realization or revelation that, or a pity against the people who are of lower caste. And low caste audiences will kind of relate to the violence that they have faced
Okay.
in their life.
In case of this non-lower caste or non-tribal people, the pity we can understand, look what they have undergone. But in a way, does it also make them sense of a guilt? Look here, we knew that such violence takes place, but we were not openly questioning that violence. As if by not speaking about that violence, we were also agent of creating that violence. I should have spoken about it. That feeling they might have had. So whether the scenes are also, though it is real, but scenes are devised to make audience responsible, especially the non-tribal upper caste and class audience responsible. Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of it's not just pretty, but kind of shame.
Ah, right, yes. It's kind of a shame that they would experience.
The next part which I liked about the film was where the woman is shown that she is very determined. Also, the lawyer is very much drawn into the thing. Now he's determined to see or investigate what has actually happened. So he teams up with a higher officer who believes this person, and he takes up the investigation. The higher officer then goes on to physically with the lawyer, they go and visit the village where the atrocity happened. So then they see from their own eyes that what the situation is like.